Well, I'm a day late with this one, but as you'll know, if you've been watching the news, I'm sure everybody does know, in fact, on May 6th there'll be a general election as well as the local council elections, and basically what that will mean, you'll have two ballot papers on the day. Not only will you be deciding on like who should be a local council, but also who should form the government of the land. Now, some of us have suspected that would be the case for some time, which will generally would mean a bigger turnout. It's not something I'm going to be speaking a lot about on my vlog, because I'm obviously standing in the local elections and putting my emphasis on the fight, particularly around our school and for town council and cuts and so on. But obviously it's something of major importance to everyone. I'll be writing an article for the Atherton Online, which Alex Hartley asked me to write last night. It will not be a partisan piece, but more trying to explain to people why it's important that they vote in this elections that only take place every 5 years, for who actually runs the government of the country. In this election, Atherton will actually be part of the Bolton West constituency, rather than the Leigh one, which it formerly was, where we had Andy Burnham as MP. He will no longer be even the candidate in Atherton at the general election. Rather, you'll have a choice of different candidates, including Julie Helen, who lives on the Eggfold estate, will be standing for Labour. Susan Williams, who is the Tory candidate, former leader of Trafford Council, lives in Hale. And a Green candidate, Rachel Mann, an independent, I believe, whose name I don't know, and a Liberal candidate as well, whose name I don't know. I think they would be the candidates. It's an interesting scenario, because according to various things I've read this week, and as has been published in the Bolton Evening News as well, the Bolton West constituency is considered a bit of a barometer seat, by which that's meant basically how Bolton West goes in the general election will be pretty close to who will form the government. So if Bolton West votes Labour, it's likely we'll get a Labour government, and if Bolton West votes Tory, we'll get a Tory government. However, because of the nature of the small number of votes involved, it could mean if Labour won by a small majority that we could end up with a hung parliament or some other scenario like that. Personally, in terms of the general election, I'm on record already, and we're in an electoral pact with them. I shall be voting for the Green candidate, Rachel Mann, who I believe is the only progressive candidate standing in the elections. In so doing, I'm hoping to be putting down a marker for the building of a progressive alternative to Labour and all the other main parties in politics. That's what I'll be doing. The Greens have supported me at the same time, standing in Atherton, and calling on members of the Green Party to support me, as they are also doing for the other 15 Community Action Party candidates who are standing across Wigan. However, many people might think that's a wasted vote, and I'm not obviously oblivious to the fact that very much it will be a race between Labour and Tory. This area really traditionally is a Labour one. However, support for Labour has really plummeted in recent times. However, I don't think, unlike in maybe some leafier suburbs, people in Atherton are necessarily flocking to the Tories. I think that's far from it. I think people are becoming more likely cynical about politics and not voting at all, especially given the lack of what many would see as a credible alternative. So really, I do imagine, and I mean, I will surely establish this on the doorstep, talking to people. I would imagine quite a lot of people may well turn out to vote Labour at the general election, who are pretty disgruntled and upset about them, and would support the type of criticisms I've made of them, but probably think that the Tories would likely be even worse. And I must say, I have some understanding of why people would think that. Certainly I'm not in favour of a Tory government. I think that would be very much like jumping out of the frying pan into the fire, and I certainly wouldn't even dream of voting Conservative. In fact, I'd rather somebody shot me first than even contemplate voting for the Tories, who I consider the enemies of ordinary working people in this country. So, at the end of the day, it's up to people themselves how they vote in the general election. As I say, I'm advocating a vote for the Greens. but if it's a choice and you can't go to the extent of vote for Greens, then if it's a choice between Labour and the Tories, even though I'm making substantial criticisms of the Labour Party nationally and locally, which are all valid, and saying kick Labour in the ballots, if it's a choice between Labour and Tory, then I would plummet for voting Labour. Yeah, it's an important election, as I say. It's something they're going to conduct it every 5 years. People, I think it's important that people vote in the elections one way or another. It's only a pity that there isn't such a thing as none of the above on the ballot paper. I know I'm certainly a member of a Facebook group that advocates having that included on the ballot paper, as well as other electoral changes, which I know from watching Question Time tonight, Labour are saying they're going to introduce if they get re-elected. It's, from my point of view, it's only a pity they didn't do it some time ago. As I am a personal advocate and supporter of proportional representation. It's difficult to know, I would say, at the moment who is going to win. I mean, the polls are showing it's tight. Certainly, it seems to be very much a case of a Labour-Tory fight, and we'll have to see what goes on. And that's it. I will be writing an article for the Atherton Online explaining, perhaps in a bit more thought, with a bit more thought attached to it, why it's important, why should people take part, especially given that in this country in the 1830s, for example, people protested in the millions for the right to vote, and as did women in early last century for the right to vote for women. And I think it really does their struggle injustice, and the fight that they put up, a real injustice for people not to vote in elections these days. In many respects, however, having said that, I understand why people are naturally cynical about politicians. I wouldn't personally describe myself as one. I'm keen to point out that I'm not a politician, but a political activist, someone who's a keen interest in politics, and who campaigns in his community, and who campaigns in his own union, and I've spoken all over the country on these type of issues. As I said, I wouldn't also call myself a politician, because I think the word politician in most people's eyes, and I understand why, and I would support the view that the word politician is generally synonymous with liar and cheat and someone who shouldn't be trusted. Unfortunately, the result of that has been many people have just become cynical and about politics together and don't even bother going out voting. However, that's not really the answer if people think about it, because basically that more or less accepts the status quo and doesn't change anything whatsoever. In fact, potentially creates a situation where the thing can get even worse. So I think people should use the votes, use the vote on May Day, even if they only spoil the ballot paper, and should get down and stand up for the democratic rights that our forebears fought for 100 and 200 years ago. Okay, thanks.